G'day everyone, welcome to today's episode of Aussie Garage. Today we're out seeing Joe. Joe's in project territory, aren't we really?
Yeah, definitely.
Yep, so we've got a few projects to check out. One of them's nearly finished and it's very, very nice, so let's go and have a look.
Yeah, definitely. These things are sweet. Hey everyone, welcome to this week's episode. We're here with Joe. Now Joe's got a whole bunch of project cars that you're doing right now. Let's start with this one, mate. So tell us about this ride.
So this one here, HR station wagon, always wanted one as a young guy. Back when I was a kid, my old man used to drive these cars and pretty much I wanted one. So this one came up from a deceased estate. So it had been parked up for a long time. Old guy had owned it, pranged into a couple of things and just had some damage, so they took it off the road, put it in garage. And when I found it, it was still damaged, all original, so it was a really good buy. Very little rust, which is very hard to find nowadays. Went out with my daughter actually, she was interested as well, she likes the cars, so we got the car and we put it back on the trailer, brought it back. It was like really, really nice. The condition of the body was very good. Didn't need a lot of work, just the damage that was there. So we've repaired the damage in the meantime. But look, we've had this car probably 3 or 4 years. Got stuck straight into it straight away with all intentions to have it on the road within a year. Because I have a few projects on the go, there's always other ones that we're trying to get that finished and get that one finished. And just like everything else, it sort of now it's pushed to the side and we've started on another one. As far as the body side of it, it's all done, pretty much ready for paint. So we just pretty much got to rub it back and get it done. But it's probably another couple of years in the making for this particular one. But
fair enough. So what is the plan for this? Are you going to take it back to Grandpa spec?
It will be Grandpa spec sleeper mode.
Perfect.
We're going to put something like either a 350 or something small block in it. Because it is such a good body, I'm sort of reluctant, but I've been looking lately, maybe even an LS conversion or even a 304 fuel injected engine, just something V8. You know, I like 6 cylinders. I've had quite a few in my day, but V8 definitely is the way to go. Got all Wilwood stuff to go on it.
Yeah, cool.
So we're going to go with Wilwood front brakes, probably do a disc brake rear end, more than likely go 9-inch. And then with converting these to V8 now, you've got to put a chassis kit in them, which you must weld in. They're not just bolt in anymore like they used to be. All that's, I've been looking at prices and sort of toying up whether it's economical to do it that way. Seen quite a few people doing the V6 conversions. You can buy it, there's a company over east, V6 conversions, that do the full front and rear conversion kit that you can bolt straight in. So I don't know yet. I'm sort of still toying up the idea. I want a V8. And I'm thinking more that's going to end up being the way we go with it.
Once you've done that, what are you thinking as far as colour-wise, interior and everything on this project?
The colour, it's going to be the green. I think I can't remember the name of the colour off the top of my head. We have started just blowing in a bit of colour around the door edges and around the windscreen and stuff.
Yeah,
just to see what it's going to look like. The dash is all painted, so
perfect.
And I reckon it looks good. That original colour. We'll do the white roof, and we'll have a Venetian on the front. We've got the side Venetians in the back. So yeah, like I say, keep it Grandpa spec, but sleeper.
So the interior and this and that was because you had installed all the original interior. Are you going to replenish it? Or
I honestly, I don't. The interior was absolutely immaculate.
Wow. Cool.
So like I say, it was a one owner car. The interior was perfect. The whole car was actually, if the gentleman that owned it didn't damage it, it would have been an excellent unmolested vehicle. It's one of those ones very hard to find now, especially like I say, HRs are probably the worst ones for rust. I have owned quite a lot of them, and just finding panels and stuff for them nowadays, it's even harder than it was 20 years ago. They're still out there. You just got to put ads up.
And being this car's only a one owner, this would have been numbers matching.
It was.
So, I can see where you're looking at. Oh, do I stay with the 6 or do I go with the 8?
And given that the floors are mint and everything underneath, there was no rust in the chassis, no rust in the floors, it's no rust in sill panels. It's actually, like I say, it was a really good find. So we have done all under here. So obviously,
Okay, so it's all neat and tidy. It's all
subframe was perfect. You know, I took it off, had it sandblasted, then we've painted it. Cross member, same thing, just recoated everything. All new bushes, all new suspension arms, and everything's been replaced, ball joints. If I do go with the V8, we'll have to put a rack and pinion steering.
Yep.
And a collapsible column is what I've found so far. I don't like cutting stuff up, especially good stuff. You know, if it needed lots of work, then you know, you're not really damaging a good vehicle.
Yep.
But when you have a really good one, I'm a Holden man. I've been a Holden man all my life, and
Nice.
I'm just not into chopping things up just for the sake of chopping it up. Like I say, it's been a passion of mine pretty much since I was a young kid. I've always loved cars, and I suppose what we were brought up with as a kid, like my dad's had HRs and HQs, and you know, he had a couple of Valiants back in the day, but he never kept them ones. He always kept his Holdens. He loved his Holdens, and
Yep.
I was always around it. I loved it, and yeah, as soon as I got my license, you know, I was straight into HQ sedan. I think I picked up for about $500 back in the day,
Nice.
license and running, and yeah, that started the passion.
Let's go check out the next one.
Yeah, let's check them out.
EJ Holden.
EJ Holden 63 sedan. It's only a special. It's not a Premier. I would have loved a Premier, but special. It is pretty much original car. The only thing I've done to it, I've changed the fender. I was mocking them up to see how good these rare spare fenders are,
Yep.
and actually they fit really well,
Okay.
surprisingly. Factory original car. This one has, and this had been off the road since '93.
Yep.
Belonged to a family, went through from grandfather to mother, and then the son ended up with it. Literally a barn find. This was an open barn. It was parked in a barn, open barn for a long time. It was pretty much orange when I
Yep.
got it, with all 4 flat tyres, had the original tyres still on it. I'm not sure exactly the scenario. The engine was pulled out, the head was off it, and it had sat there obviously since '93.
Yeah,
so that engine was no good.
Yeah.
So the engine is out of it at the moment. I have recently picked up another engine for it. Like my HR, still unsure whether to put a grey motor back in this one. This has a 138 grey motor. I do have a couple of red motors, Holden Red 6 motors, that I've been toying up the idea of just putting a red 6 in it, just for convenience. Yeah, I've had it probably 18 months. It's only a recent purchase, but it was too good a deal to resist.
Yep.
I originally looked at the car probably about 2 years ago, and the young guy wasn't ready to sell it. He had put it up on Marketplace and just expressions of interest. I forgot all about it, and then he contacted me via Facebook and said, if you were still interested in this car, said, look, let's come around and have a look at it. And so I went around and had a look at it. I was actually amazed at the condition. Again, because it has sat for so long, the body's actually really good. The floors are mint, the underframes, everything is just perfect on this car.
Yep.
Which is obviously very hard to find nowadays, especially on this is a 63 model car, so
Yeah, definitely.
it has had some repairs done at some stage, but nothing drastic.
Well, it definitely does look very clean. I mean, yes, we can see just little bits of rust here and there, but otherwise, this is a neat, complete car. So,
Yeah, so that's pretty much why I'm sort of in two minds. Maybe end up just putting the 138 back in it with the 3-speed column and just keep it as is, not go too over the top. Just do the brakes, do the basics to it and make it so it's a goer again.
yeah, perfect. And this is the original blue it was?
This is the original blue.
Yep.
With the
White roof.
White roof. It did have a sun visor on it. So badly rusted out, I took it off, which I'll try and find another one. Hopefully somebody that's watching might have one. Yeah, otherwise the rest of the car is all original, and that, like I say, is pretty much the way. I don't want to get too involved in this one. I don't want to strip it down to a bare shell and try and do a full resto. It doesn't need it. Interior wise, we can have a quick look if you like.
Yeah. Look, I mean, at the end of the day, it is pretty clean in here. Like from a couple of seat rips.
Like I say,
Everything.
the floors were actually really good. They've not been messed with. No one's cut them out or anything. They're very solid. It's a very easy restoration. Then obviously the seats, we can probably get them repaired. I don't want to go overboard. They're not torn up as where some, they're really torn up. Yeah, all in all, like I say, she's a very honest vehicle, and it'd be something that I would like to get back on the road.
Yeah, perfect. No, sounds like a plan, mate. Okay, Joe, so this is the one you're currently working on at the moment.
Yeah, so this one we purchased it about 12 months ago.
Okay.
Like always, it was supposed to be a driver. It was running and licensed. I bought it up Midland Way off a gentleman. Funny story, the guy had bought some parts off me and told me that he was fixing this car up. We sort of stayed connected as friends on Facebook, as you do, because I told him, I said, if you ever need any parts, let me know, because I am doing up my wagon. He contacted me and said, oh, thinking about getting rid of it, which really surprised me because he'd just spent probably $4,000 or $5,000 on getting it back on the road. It had been off the road for probably 12 years. Belonged to a young lady that he was dating or something, and belonged to her grandfather prior to that. So she had it sitting in a carport. It was just sat there, and she took ownership of it. She drove it around for a while and then parked it up, and it sat in this carport for, like I say, about 12 years. And she needed some money, and he was like, oh, you know, I'm happy to loan you some money, but, you know, what are you doing with that car?
Yeah.
And so he was thinking, you know, easy resto, get it back on the road and start driving it. And he's not a mechanic, so he was unable to do any repairs to it himself. He was paying people, and it started costing him a fair bit. And as you know, if you can't do the work on these cars, it does takes the fun out of it, and it starts becoming very costly. Yeah, so he contacted me, and we went and had a look at it. My missus was in two minds to let me buy it.
Yep.
You know, my missus is very, very good. She allows me to muck around and do all my car stuff, but she was sort of in my ear just going, oh, you sure you want to buy it? You sure you want to buy it? It actually had a bit of rust. You could see the rust hanging out of it. And I was like, yeah, but it's going, it's licensed. You know, we can at least go on some cruises and get it out and about and just have a bit of fun. I didn't like the way it drove. It felt unsafe on the road.
Yeah.
It was all over the place, and I was like, oh, okay. And it had a hole in the driver's floor that you could see the road while I'm driving. And I'm like, yeah, this is I better fix that up. So pulled the seats up, and then there was nothing left. The front and rear floors were completely shot. So I took to task. I was like, yeah, all right, I'll start doing some floor pans on it. And then my mate, he comes around every Sunday, gives me a hand, mucks around with the cars. He's a panel beater by trade. He was sort of guiding me on what I'm doing, and he's like, yeah, you're doing a very good job. And then he starts chipping away at other bits of rust. And I'm like, hey, I'm not doing a full resto. Next minute, he's chipped all this rust away. Rocker panels and dog legs are all full of rust. So next minute, the whole car's stripped down again. And I'm like, here we go. Another project that I didn't really want to have another one, because I do have a few on the go. And given that this one's licensed, it's more a priority now. So we did strip it down. I'm glad we did, because it was really bad. It was actually worse. Like, obviously with body filler and paint and stuff, it doesn't look as bad. But once you take all that off,
You find out what its true colours are showing.
Exactly. So there was quite a lot of rust in this one. So the last probably 8 months, we have been working on it every week. So we have got fair way through it now. So we had the boot floor done. We've done the front and rear floors inside. All the fenders have been repaired. We've chopped the fenders to pieces. You just can't find a good fender for these cars. They are very badly rusty. We've ended up chopping up 3 guards to fix the left one. The right one wasn't as bad, but still we've chopped that to pieces and made new sections. And so far we've done those 2. I've picked up a very good bonnet, which definitely helps with the bodywork side of things. This one, same thing as my wagon. I've had the whole front end out of it. Subframe was mint, which surprised me because everything else was rusty around it. So that's all been sandblasted. We've painted that. Cross member's been out. That's all been done. Same thing, all new suspension. This one here, I have a very nice hot 186 for it.
Okay.
So that's going to go back into this one with a Trimatic and keep the original, just the banjo diff. But yeah, everything will be all new again, and it should drive really nice. And given that this one's licensed, like I say, that one's more priority now.
Yeah.
Sort of
so that way
paying
you can get out, once it's done, you can get out and drive and have fun.
Get out and have some fun, and get out to a lot of the car runs and shows that we've missed out. Like I used to do a lot of them back 10 years ago, and I become a bit unwell, and I sort of put the cars to one side for a while and just sort of sat on them. The passion, I sort of lost the passion because I'm a mechanic by trade. So I sort of, being around cars all day and then coming home and working on them, you get burnt out from it. So we were in car clubs and we used to go on all the car runs. We used to love it. Me and my wife used to always go to every car run.
Yep.
And we haven't done it for over 10 years now, and we're missing it. And so that was hence the reason we bought this car, but
That's all
here
right,
it sits.
though.
Here
but
it sits.
At the end of the day, now you're getting it started. You're looking like there's a colour change happening.
It was yellow, like a really light yellow with the white roof. Same thing, this one had a sun visor on it, which is going back on it. Again, as I was talking earlier, my passion come through my dad, as all the cars he's had in his time were all Holdens, except for a couple. But always remember he used to have this turquoise colour HR, and I love that car. I love that colour. And when we were 17, my friend had one, and I was so jealous of him. I wish I could have bought that car off him. And back then, they weren't that expensive, and I was sort of still in between my HQs, and I sort of went with a HQ, but it was always in my mind that if I ever got one, I would paint it this colour with a white roof. This one will be a little bit of a hot rod, but still with the 6-cylinder. I'm not going to modify this one too much because it's still licensed, and I do want to drive it regularly. So like I say, a little hot 186 that's bought out 192 with a yellow Terra head, roller rockers.
Awesome.
So yeah,
and they go well once they've been worked.
Definitely. I've had a few in my day, and that I still like the old school.
Yep.
Which is why I was sort of sticking with the 186 in this one. So we're dropping it 2 inches, put the convos on it, and just put a nice sports exhaust. And like I say, we're not going to go too overboard. Already have, but
And what's the aim to have this one on the road by?
next summer.
Next summer. All right, mate. Well, we should get on to the last one.
Yeah, let's do it.
Wow, this is nice. This is very nice.
So this one's my baby. I've had this one for about 8 years. Story on this one, it's come up on Facebook one day on the marketplace, or was steel bumpers actually, unfinished project. And I did have a few projects on the go at the time, but always wanted a 2-door Monaro. And the guy was asking 20 grand for it, and didn't really have the money, but I really wanted it. And at that time was when they started to rise in price.
Yep.
Consulted the boss, and she said to me, look, you always wanted one. If you want it, get it. Went and had a look at it. It was all there, 100% complete.
Perfect.
In pieces. So you don't know if it's all there.
All there,
So I went through everything. I checked everything out to make sure it was all there. It looked okay. I brought my friend out, who's my panel beater friend. He said to me there's going to be a lot of work, because it did need a lot of work. The guy that owned it, he had stripped it down to a bare shell, had it sandblasted, and I think that scared him, because back in the 80s, these weren't worth anything. So it was all modified. They'd smashed all the rear guards out to pump them out, and they were all bogged up. And same with the front guards; they were all flared out. So it probably looked good in the day. Had bonnet scoop, and it was all modified. But I could see potential. It was quite a good shell. I said to the guy, just give me a few days. I said, I want this car. And true to his word, he didn't sell it to anyone else, didn't let anyone else come and have a look. And we went around on the weekend and picked it up. And
the blue on this that you've painted it so far, what's this colour?
So this is a Ford colour. This is a Shockwave blue. It was blue when I bought it, or before I bought it. The pictures the guy showed me, it was a blue colour. I think it was like a DeVille blue, like the original Holden colour. But it didn't pop to me. It just looked standard. I didn't like just the basic blue. The funny thing was, we started working on it. I still hadn't worked out a colour on it yet, so we were working on it, and we had to go to Bunnings for something. And I seen this XR8 Falcon parked over the other side of the car park, and it just shone. It was like, a light just going, bing.
Yeah.
We went over to the guy who owned the car and just said to him, what's this colour? And he said it was Shockwave blue.
Yep.
So we got the paint coat off him. My mate, because he works as a panel beater, he went to work on the Monday and got a spray out card and sprayed it out. I was like, mate, that's the colour. So we went with that, and it's come out a treat. It looks mint. It's not finished yet, obviously. It's been on the go for 8 years.
You're almost there.
Yeah.
So what do you have left to do on this?
It's got pretty much everything is brand new on this car. I've just recently got the window regulators back. I sent them over east to a company called the Two Door Store. So I've had them fully reconditioned, so they're like brand new. Because I did put the glass in and the windows didn't go up properly. And given that I've gone to this extreme, I was like, you know what? Another $6,000 here and another couple of $1,000. It's like, I've already put that much money into it. May as well finish it off and make sure we go to, do it properly. What we've got left, bit of wiring, put the carpet in, I've got the window regulators back in the car.
Yep.
I've just got to put the glass in now. Door trim's back on, and then just a couple of minor things on the engine. All the brakes are in, everything's in. Engine, gearbox and diff already all been rebuilt, all brand new.
And what are you putting in this one as far as engine and drivetrain and everything else?
So this is a 350. It's been stroked, so we've got a 383 stroker. It's got alley heads on it, roller rockers, mild cam. I didn't go too big because obviously I've got to get it licensed. They're Brodex heads. They've been ported as well with big valves and heavy duty springs. Got the Edelbrock manifold. We've got a Brawler carby on it, MSD ignition, alley radiator. Then we've got Turbo 400 that's been fully reconned. It's got a 2,500 high stall. And then we've got the brand new True Track 9-inch diff in it.
Yep.
That's been fully built up by Final Drive. And then I've got Willwood brakes all around, front and rear.
And the wheels you've got on them at the moment?
The wheels, they're Pro Weld or something, I think they're called. 15s. We've got 15.6s on the front, 15.8.5s on the back. This one's more a show car. It's not really a daily driver this car's had a full rotisserie paint job. So we've had this thing on the rotisserie upside down, inside out is absolutely, you can eat off it. It's like brand new. Every nut and bolt's been off it, all the boot, everything's been smooth, everything's, all the chassis been fully welded on this one. They don't feel that good on the road when they were new, and they do have a lot of body flex. So while we had it on the rotisserie, we thought we'd just fully weld everything up. So all the chassis, all the, the rear boots or rear box section for the trailing arms, that's been fully welded in because they're only spot welded in from factory. Now with a bit more horsepower, obviously I want to rip it out of the floor.
Yeah, definitely.
Still a couple of things I'd like to do. Want to go with some A-arms on the front, the tubular ones. I want to get some different trailing arms to the rear. They make some really nice ones by Billet Works or something over east. All stuff that doesn't need to be done, but
it's going to complete the car
for how I want it. We spent 3 years just doing bodywork on this car to get it straight, to get all the quarter panels to look right.
Well, it 100% shows because this thing is clean all the way down the line. Okay, wow.
So, like I say, 383 stroker, has all the performance parts that you can possibly buy.
Yep.
I didn't shortcut anything. I've gone with the electric water pump. I'm actually going with the Astra power steering. It has less things hanging off the engine because I was in two minds. I didn't know how I'm going to keep it clean with having the factory power steering sticking off the engine. And I was like, obviously now with the Astra power steering, they do look good. They're hidden. They're a little bit noisy, but you're not going to hear it over the engine.
No, definitely not. Definitely
not. This engine is hopefully a 500-600 horsepower engine. It has been built with like I say, with all the performance stuff that you can possibly buy.
And you're going to put aircon units through this as well? Or?
I am looking at that at the moment, the Vintage Air.
Okay.
That's probably the only one. Again, I don't want to hang too much stuff off the engine. So I have been toying with it, but again, given that it's not a daily driver or, not even a weekender hardly, I don't know whether to go down that track yet.
The wiring, are you going to hide it behind?
All the wiring will be hidden, everything will be hidden. It'll be just, you'll see a motor, obviously the brake master cylinder, and it'll just have the brake lines, and then even the power steering lines, they're very short and they're hidden as well. So
perfect.
There's not going to be a lot. I have a brand new Browns radiator for it. It's like a 5-row heavy duty, that's for their burnout cars that they build. So it'll keep this thing cool, given that it's going to have, I think it's 10-to-1 compression, so it's going to run hot anyway. Chevys always do.
Let's talk about what you've done in the interior then.
So the interior, when I got this car, had all the wrong interior. Had HJ to Z bucket seats in it, and the rear back seat was out of a sedan. Dealing with tighter rear parts good mate of mine. He told me, and I always remember it, he goes, once you buy a coupe, triple the price of every part you buy. It doesn't matter who it is. Somebody's got a coupe part, they're just expensive. And I'm like, man, what are we going to be looking at for bucket seats and stuff to get it all back so it's correct? So I started looking around swap meets, because I go to all the swap meets. Set of front bucket seats come up. They're absolutely mint. About 7 years ago, they were fairly reasonably priced as compared to now.
Yep.
I've been looking and they're like $7,000-8,000 for some bucket seats, and I'm just like, man, this is absolutely crazy. I'm glad I had bought them years ago. Back seat, same thing, was very hard to get. Coupe back seats, they are specific for coupe.
Yep.
They are squared at the bottom, is where the sedan ones are rounded on the bottom one, and then the back has like an imprint where it looks like an armrest or something compared to the standard one where it's just flat across.
Yep.
But very hard to find. I did find a trimmer over east. He did a set for a customer, and part payment, the guy gave him a rear back seat. Again, I used my marketplace advert. I put an ad up and this guy contacted me. Had to come from over east, so I was a bit unsure. You never know whether you're going to get your part or how it's going to turn up, or whether it's even what you were buying.
Yep.
But he was quite legit. He wrapped it all up, got it sent out. I think I paid we were talking the $1,000 thing. I think I paid $1,000 for the back seat. Back 7 years ago, I thought that was absolutely just insane.
Yep.
But looking at what they're worth now, like you'll pay $4 or $5 grand for a back seat for one of these, and it still needs to be trimmed. I've gone with almost original interior, so the seats have been redone in the original type of material. But instead of going with the houndstooth, I've kept it sort of a darker material in the middle.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of the houndstooth. It wasn't my cup of tea. So
Fair enough.
I've done them the way I like, but they've come up very nice. New door cards, sent them away to some place over east through Todd. Todd's been, like I say, he's helped me a lot with this car, getting parts and finding all the bits that I need. That's all come up beautifully. All, like I say, I had all the gauges done, so they're all brand new lenses, new fascias, and definitely been a passion of love.
And how long do you think that this is going to take you to finish it?
My boss has given me, not an ultimatum, but given me a deal that might be too good to refuse.
Yep.
He's going to take a few cars over to Summonats next year, and he said if I had my car ready, that he would take my car over for free and pay for me to go over there. It sort of made me pull my finger out a bit, so I have been working on it lately. After work, I have been coming home, and like I say, I just got the window regs back, so I've fitted them all up just to make sure they all fit. Now I'm just going to put the glass in and line that up. It'll probably take me a couple of weeks to do the glass, because these things are a pain. Given that sort of a motivation, it's a once in a lifetime thing for me. I honestly, I couldn't afford to ship the car over and then pay for everything on top of it. It ends up becoming a very expensive weekend, and getting that sort of an offer, it's, like I say, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Wow.
Years ago, I would have been the one out there doing all the burnouts and going crazy and having all the fun, but as I've gotten older, I value my money.
Yep.
And I just can't afford to blow diffs up and engines and gearboxes. Years ago, you didn't care. You asked about other things that I want to do. The only other thing that will be done to it is I'm going to put the white GDS stripes on it. I did have some decals that I just put on there just to see how it looks, and it just breaks the blue up a bit, and it does make the car look really sharp. That'll probably be the only thing, because I'll have to still go back to the paint shop. There's a couple of corrections that need to be done on the paint. Even though it looks nice, this has been done 5 years ago. There's a couple of sink backs and little bits and pieces there's a couple of little scratches that I've done. As unfortunately it happens when you put them together. As much as you tape everything up and you try and cover everything.
All right, Joe, you've got lovely collection, mate. This thing is stunning, especially, and I can't wait to make sure it gets that Summonats, because that is going to be sensational. But the rest of them, I can see your vision and what you're going to do with them. And it's going to look great once you're done. And when you've finished them all, hopefully we can come back, catch up, and maybe go for a bit of a cruise in one of them.
Definitely will let you guys know. Looking forward to trying to get this one done for Summonats, and look for next summer, hopefully get the HR out on the road and go and enjoy it. We used to go to Cottesloe and go to Captain Munchie's in Fremantle.
Oh, yeah.
That's always was was our sort of goal end where we'd end up and have a burger or something down there, and then cruise home. But
Yeah, nice.
I haven't done that for a long time, and really looking forward to doing something like that next summer.
Nah, sounds perfect, mate. Absolutely sounds perfect.
But I appreciate you guys coming out and looking at my collection.
Nah, thanks for showing us your ride, mate.
Appreciate it, man. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.